Namaste, everyone. This first time I'm doing this from the US. Usually, I am in India, and the system is totally different. I just jumped, came here and started recording this one. Can you hear me?
Yes, Krishna.
Yes.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Namaskar. So we'll
Yes,
this thing
Namaskaram.
further. So I will. I'll start sharing my PowerPoint. Oh, not this one, sorry. I think I made a mistake. This should be lecture 15. I guess you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Just a little bit. Let's start. So this is the verse we were talking about. Kena Upaniṣad, section 2, verse 4. This is a very important verse. What I thought was just give a simple overview, fill in some blanks which I might not have talked about in the last class. Before I go further, I see that there are a few new people who have joined. Welcome to all the new members. What I want to let you know is, in Kena Upaniṣad, we have finished 14 lectures. Today, we are doing the 15th lectures. If you go to the group information in the Telegram channel, you will find links to the other 14 prior lectures. So it's hard for me to give you all the information we have talked about in the last 14 lectures. So please go through the YouTube videos. I have not created a playlist yet. Too much work, but I will somehow do a playlist soon. But you can find all the lectures in the section. If you look at the information, that is Telegram Upanishad channel information. Okay, so with this background, let me start further. So our plan is to finish Śaṅkarabhāṣya first. So we are going through Śaṅkarabhāṣya, and we are probably somewhere in the middle of Kena Upaniṣad. We'll go further all the way in the next few lectures, finish Śaṅkarabhāṣya, then pick up Rangaramanujya Bhashya, and then do Dvaitas, that is Madhva Bhashya from the Dvaita school. This is the plan. Just wanted to, I'm sure other people know about this introduction, but since a few new people have joined, I just wanted to give you some information. Everything, you understand everything? Are you okay?
Yes,
Excuse me.
Good.
Excuse me. There was a pop-up. There was a message that popped up. That's the contents of the meeting are being sent to a third party. That is fine, right?
That's fine, because, good point, nothing big deal. What I did was, I have two accounts, the Ramanuja account and the personal account. Today, from the Ramanuja account, I could not record it for some reason. Sometimes I get some trouble in this YouTube recording. And that is why I started from my personal account. So no issue.
Okay.
Very good. Then we will go back to and follow our thought process now. Yeah. So let me just review a few items here. So this Pratipoda Viditam Matam Amritatvam Hivindate, that one we covered already. Basically, what it's saying is through every state of consciousness, we know that all states of consciousness, there is one witness common to all states of consciousness. That witness is Ātman. And once, if someone knows in every state of consciousness, in every experience, pratyaya, there is one witness, and that witness is Ātman. So there are so many things happening in the mind. There are so many vṛttis or thoughts happening in the mind. In every thought, there's one witness, which is unchanging, eternal. And if in every thought somebody knows this unchanging, eternal, as not an object, but as a subject, then that person will attain amritatva, immortality. That's the whole idea of this shloka. So we'll go through the remaining portion of the shloka, but before going there, I'll just introduce to you what we talked earlier. We talked about the Kāṇāda, the one view where Śaṅkarācārya takes that what if directly that Ātman goes through changes or changes in every cognition. Suppose we see a cat, then our consciousness changes. If we see an elephant, our consciousness changes. If it changes in every cognition, that is not the right view, according to Śaṅkarācārya, because that is Bhartru Prapancha's view, where a Brahman undergoes modification. That is Parinamavada. It is not acceptable to Śaṅkarācārya. Śaṅkarācārya says Brahman is nirvikara, does not undergo any change whatsoever. Next, he picks up the Kāṇāda view, that is the logician's view, Nyaya Viśiṣṭādvaita view. In fact, it's Viśiṣṭādvaita view. He says that directly, that is the Kāṇāda view says directly the consciousness does not change, the attribute of consciousness changes. So there's a mind, which is an attribute of consciousness. Mind undergoes through changes, consciousness doesn't change. So, so just like how a pot is a pot, but you can make it look like a red pot by just baking it, but still it's a pot. But the characteristics of the surface, color of the surface has changed, but the pot is still the pot. Pot has not undergone any transformation, but pot's color has changed. So similarly, the attribute of consciousness has changed or is changing while getting new, new cognitions. But really, the substance of the consciousness has not changed, according to Kāṇādas. But Śaṅkarācārya argues Kāṇāda does not believe in a Chaitanya or conscious self. So consciousness comes and goes to the self, and that is not the right view, because consciousness is eternal and its property should not change. And first of all, it does not have properties at all. It does not have attributes at all. It is pure witness. That is the idea of Śaṅkarācārya. So he rejects Kāṇāda's view. Then he picks up the Buddhist view. And in the Buddhist view, he says, look, what the Buddhist, particularly he picks up one aspect of the Buddhist view called the Vainashika view. Vinasha means nasha. Every moment, everything changes. So nothing in the previous moment exists in the next moment. So particularly in relation to knowledge, what the Buddhists, that is the Vaibhāṣika, say is, look, your knowledge can only understand the present. That means if I'm in front of this computer, I'm looking at this screen here, that cognition at that moment, knows the situations. But in the next moment, there is that is the previous moment is unknown. The previous moment is gone. The whole content of the previous moment is gone. Then in the next moment, there's cognition, but this cognition is unrelated to the previous cognition. So that is how. So there is no need for a self who is a knower who continues to know. So there is no self. That is known as the Anatmavada of the Anatmavada of the Buddhists, particularly the Vaibhāṣikas. Śaṅkarācārya says that is not logical, because that's not according to the Shruti or the Vedas. According to the Shruti, there is a constant, powerful self which never goes away. So if you say in every moment, the previous moment, the content of every moment is different, that means there is no real non-changing self. And that is absolutely not acceptable for the Vaidikas who believe in the Vedas. Śaṅkarācārya says that that's not our view. Then he picks up the view of, now we have not talked about it. Some of these are the asamprajñāta samadhis and stuff like that. The view of the yoga school, and some other views he picks up, and he comments regarding these views. Let's find out more. To find out more, let's go further. So I'll just summarize where things are. Witness of the mental operations is one, that is Ātman, right? And once somebody knows that witness as one single witness of different mental states, that person will get moksha or immortality. Okay, we talked about this earlier. We talked about the Kāṇāda view. Then we talked about, we have already talked in detail about all these things. That's why I'm skipping. Okay, here he also considers one more aspect here. Does Brahman know himself? Does the self know himself? He said that is not possible, because the self is only a witness, and it is never an object of any perception. Because self is not an object, self cannot know itself also. So that is why he rejects that view. That is, Śaṅkarācārya rejects that view that self can know itself. One of you have not muted yourself. Please mute. You unmute when you want to ask a question. So the Buddhist view is the momentariness view, which Śaṅkarācārya denies. Okay. Now, okay, now he considers certain other views. Just a second. Yeah, there's some missing page here. I guess I messed up this PowerPoint. I was working on a previous version. I should have deleted the previous version. There, one view he takes up is the yoga school which talk about the asamprajnata samadhi and samprajnata samadhi. What this samprajnata samadhi means, the consciousness knows itself. It's conscious. The self is conscious. Knowingly, the self focuses on self itself, but it knows itself. It knows the situation. So when it is samprajnata samadhi, the self completely isolates from matter. This is the Sāṅkhya school in a way, yoga and Sāṅkhya school, particularly the yoga school. So there they talk about the isolation. That is, all these mental afflictions are due to connections with matter. So if somebody completely disassociates from matter, they get to a state of complete isolation. They call it as kaivalya. And what if we understand pratibodha viditam amritam, pratibodha viditam matam, this verse, as complete isolation from matter or any thoughts of matter? That is asamprajnata samadhi, where nothing is known and the self is in itself. It is not intrinsic. That is one point of view Śaṅkarācārya considers and does not agree with it. He says that this view also has a problem. Then, so taking these different views, he calls it as intrinsic or extrinsic. And these different views are all states of consciousnesses. And he picks up, he says that anything which is acquired or anything which changes is not self. So self is understood only in one way. When you deny the non-self, when you deny something which is other than the self, that is what is moksha. That's what leads you to moksha or immortality. Self can never be known. And if you deny the mistake, or if you remove the mistake that you are the non-self, that itself is moksha. That is the main idea of Śaṅkarācārya. That's what is said here. So deathlessness is abiding in its own self. So by abiding in its own self, not and isolating completely from external objects, that is liberation. And why does that liberation comes through? What does it mean for the liberation to happen? What is behind? What is the power behind that liberation? One thing is here, it's clarified in this slide. Immortality is intrinsic to the self. That the immortality is with self itself is immortal. So anything external to it is not immortal. So what is happening in this universe, according to Śaṅkarācārya, is you're mistaking this universe to be you. It is like mistaking that there is something moving up there like a coil, rope. You don't know it's a rope, you're thinking that it is a snake. So this whole universe is a mistake. Like how you mistake a piece of rope to be a snake. Once you know that that is just a piece of rope, not a snake, and that is moksha. That is that itself, the universe of all these activities, ignorance, mistakings, thinking this is real, thinking so many things happening. I am caught. I need to compete. I need to get this. I need to get that. All these things are error, illusion. Once you know that that doesn't exist, what is there is only the substratum, which is Brahman. There is no change. Changes are all unreal. There's only one real Ātman. That is Śaṅkarācārya's view. So what does moksha involve? You're denying all that is not Brahman. And that process of denial will give you moksha. That is Śaṅkarācārya's view. So the function of true knowledge is merely to remove this mistaken notion that the self is something different from what it really is, and not to affect or generate moksha newly. Moksha cannot be caused new. And if something is caused, let me stop here. If something is caused, is that entity eternal?
No, no.
So anything which has a beginning has to have an end. So if moksha is going to, there was no moksha before, and I'm going to get moksha now, if that happens, what happens? That means that moksha, whatever you're talking about, which has a beginning, will end. If it ends, moksha is not continuous, moksha is not eternal. So you'll be back into this bondage. So moksha has to be there all along. Only thing is mistaking is happening, which should go away. So the mistaking has a birth. Mistaking that I am bound, mistaking that I am fat, I am lean, I am white, I am yellow, I am dark, I am green, whatever. All these things are body characteristics. We are mistaking self is different from the body, but we are mistaking it. So if you lose that mistake, if the mistake goes away, you know that you are the self. So losing the mistake or denying the mistake is what is moksha. That's the idea he is bringing here. So the power comes from within Ātman. That is the strength. The strength cannot come from outside. The power due to wealth, getting more money and thinking that you're wealthy, or through some mantras or some magic, formulas, magic herbs, austerities. All these cannot overcome death. Death is dissolution of this body, separation of a self from body. So death cannot be caused by some kind of an external power. Self itself is deathless. So knowing that this deathless self is eternal, that's what matters. So power of self-knowledge is through self itself, nothing else. Now I'll just go through today will be a short class because I'm just summarizing the past class, and I will only do one shloka in this class. Till now, these are all Sanskrit, original Śaṅkarabhāṣya. I have given you the summary already, and the meanings are all covered. Okay. The next shloka is the fifth shloka. Iha chedavedi tatha satyamasti nachedavedi nached iha avedin mahati vinashtihi. Bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya dhiraha pretyasmal lokat amrata bhavanti. The English translation given by Hiryana is, if one should know here, then there is use. Right when we are here alive, we should know Brahman. If one cannot know that Brahman here, there is a great loss. Mahati vinashtihi. Immense is the loss if you don't know Brahman right here. Hence, seeking the reality in all beings, the wise people become immortal after death. So the thing is, the wise people know how to know Brahman right here before death. And Because they know Brahman, they will become immortal. Only the knowers of Brahman will become immortal. If one cannot know Brahman while living here, it's a disaster for that person. So we have to know Brahman right away before we die. This is the idea of Kena Upaniṣad. This, let me ask you, there are a number of people here who might belong to Ramanuja system of thought. Does this shloka affect some of the beliefs, or at least one belief in the Ramanuja system? Can anybody tell me?
Of course, the self here in other systems has to be equated to Bhagavan.
True. Doesn't matter. Yeah, equate it to Bhagavan, fine. That is fine.
So we cannot take it purely in terms of the Advaitic view. Just mere this thing, Jivatman. I mean, it.
No. Make this like this. Advaitic view, self is Brahman. Here also knowing Brahman. Right here, before death, one should know Brahman according to other acharyas. Fine. Let us leave it at that. So
Yes,
it doesn't matter where, whatever.
This means that, I mean,
Śaṅkarācārya
according to Ramanuja, Brahman is different from the self. I mean, Jiva. Whereas here Advaita view clearly says that it is one and the same. You realize you are Brahman, then you attain more immortality. Is it right?
Well,
That is what to tell.
You don't exist, and what is remaining is Brahman, right? Your real see, your Brahman means that's not the way Śaṅkarācārya says, right? Because you is something which is related to body, mind, intellect, and he says there is nothing which is related to body, mind, intellect other than Brahman. So when you know that you are not the limited self which is related to the body, mind, intellect, you are the original Brahman. So there is no doubt that Śaṅkarācārya and the other acharyas consider the self as Brahman here. That's all.
There's a difference here, right? Because in Viśiṣṭādvaita and Dvaita, everything is dependent upon Brahman, which is Bhagavan actually. Even post self-realization, if we have to attain immortality, it all completely depends upon Bhagavan. Here it is not like that. Once we know actually the witness, somehow after the fall of the body, he continues to be immortality. The question is how it continues to be like that. We don't have an answer here. You know yourself as the witness in every consciousness, and it works out that after fall of body, you become immortal. How? We don't know. We have to just take.
No. Śaṅkarācārya says Ātmana vindate viryam, right? The power is through Ātman. Ātman itself is the power. So the thing is, even Śaṅkarācārya accepts Ātman as Brahman only, right?
No, but you see, one thing is there. You always, one will all, according to Shankara's view, one always has to be a witness to know one's own self. In isolation, or you cannot realize it separately as different from matter and Bhagavan, like in other views. You always have to be in the one. It seems that it implies that you have to be in the relative state to know, to use that neti principle.
Doesn't matter. That's the method is different a little bit. But the thing is, his understanding of self is same as Brahman, and other people understands here, they don't call it self. Ihate davedit atha satyam asti. That means you have to know that particular entity which is constant and eternal, and that is Paramatma. So other acharyas agree with it too. See, I don't.
So in the
Viśiṣṭādvaita, there may be differences in approach, but the thing is here, what is being known? Ihache davedit means if you know that right here before death. What is that? That is Paramatma For other acharyas, this is Atma for this person. This Atma is not Jivatma. Knowing Jivatman is not helpful, even for Advaitins. You are thinking that there is a Jivatma, you are going deep and denying neti. That means I am not this, I am not this, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am nothing connected to all these things. I am Brahman. What is so that I is not separate. It is not I as a self. There is no only for for the purposes of vyavaharika satya or transactional reality. They agree with a self. Advaitins, Śaṅkarācārya agree with individual selves. Like, oh, I am different, you are different, and all those things. They agree. But that is only a notion that multiple selves don't exist after realization. There is only one. That is that Paramatma. And that is Ātman. And Ātman has to be known right here before death. So there is actually, Suresh ji, I'm sorry to say, you are actually deviating my question. I asked a question. Is there a problem for one of the beliefs held by the Viśiṣṭādvaita viewpoint? You went after a different viewpoint. Says Viśiṣṭādvaita differs here because they believe in Jiva, Jada, Paramatma, three entities, and here it is only one Ātman and the rest is Maya or universe. This is fundamentally, you are basically saying there are two different points of view, but that is not my question. My question is, do you have a big problem?
Yeah,
yes.
Yes, there is one problem, Krishna. There is the Mokṣa.
One second. Let Partha say 1 second, please. Suresh, you wait 1 minute.
So in the Viśiṣṭādvaita, there are two things. There is, you can get moksha by either Bhakti Marga or Bhakti Yoga or Prapatti Yoga. So the Bhakti Yoga, you can learn Brahman, and you can, even this explanation might suffice even for Viśiṣṭādvaita. Whereas if you believe in, or if you do Prapatti and try to get moksha by that, then this is not applicable to Viśiṣṭādvaita, and this will be a core difference.
No. That is not the main point, Parthaji. That is not the problem. I'm asking. See, I have to underline this word problem. There is a very big problem. What is the problem?
See,
here?
In Bhakti Yoga, if somebody tries to understand and really realize Brahman, there they have the Brahman separate from the Jivatma. If they do understand and recognize, they experience Brahman, then I don't see why the explanation given for this verse will be a problem for Viśiṣṭādvaita.
No. I think you're missing the point. Why don't we Ramaji, please, you raised your hand. Tell me what you want to say.
Yeah, my problem is, you did mention earlier that Brahman himself does not know himself, because he is not an object. So if Brahman himself is not able to know himself, how are we to know Brahman? That is my problem.
See, here, knowing Brahman here only as a subject, not as an object, that's all. You know that there is, in every cognition, every experience we have, there is one witness. That is what you know externally. But the witness is not directly knowable. That witness is not an object of knowledge.
In Advaita, Swami, the knowledge is that I am Brahman, and in Viśiṣṭādvaita, the knowledge is that I am subservient to Brahman. The relationship is of Sharira and Shariri. So that could be the difference of knowledge that is gained right here.
Okay, you're only telling me the difference between Ramanuja system and the Advaita here, right?
Yeah. That's the question, right? What is the problem set?
That's not the question. The question
is
Krishna,
I am actually giving you only one thing. I don't want to give a hint more than this. Okay.
Here is one problem.
Let me put it simply, Krishna, what I'm trying to tell. this, I mean, the Sakshi, see, now when we are talking the Sakshi, we can know that we are different from the, I mean, we are Sakshi, we are different from the thoughts and other things. We know that Sakshi. But at this point of time, I cannot for sure tell that I am one and the same witness everywhere. How is it possible? That there is a conflict over there. We cannot, in other systems of the thing, school of Vedanta, the Sakshi is not readily known as Brahman. Whereas in Advaita, there is a big difference. It is assumed that the self, the witness, current witness, is itself Brahman. The difference is there.
No, even in Advaita,
Here is another difference.
hold on.
Uh,
Let me clarify. 1 second, 1 second. Right? 1 second, Prashant, 1 second. Sureshji, there is no difference here because what you're saying is being multiple selves. I can be a witness and I can also be a witness of other witnesses and objects around me and the universe and Parabrahma, the Ishvara, the ruler, and everything like that. I am a separate witness. Right? What Śaṅkarācārya is saying or Advaita is saying here is there is only one witness for all experiences. It could be an experience of bhakti to Paramatma. It could be an experience of any sort, anything related to the universe or anything related to Ishvara. It doesn't matter for Śaṅkarācārya. He says that there is only one witness. That's all he's saying. There is only one witness that is uninvolved, unchanging, one. And if that is the state, there clearly Śaṅkarācārya is saying that means this universal experience is gone for that, because he knows that universe doesn't exist and there is only one. What is remaining is one. That is what is Śaṅkarācārya's view here, right? There is no problem with this. See, there is difference between Viśiṣṭādvaita and Advaita, and we know that. I am not even focusing on the differences. My question is very different. There is a belief system in Viśiṣṭādvaita, and that belief system is questioned, and there is a problem because of this particular verse. And
can I add?
The more and more I'm telling you or thinking or even continuing with this conversation, the more and more I'm convinced I'm not going to give you the answer for this, because you don't even have a doubt. You don't even understand that there is a problem. If there is no problem, why should I solve it?
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So in this, I believe that problem is Śaṅkarācārya says that the moksha or the thing happens in the when the person is alive, when the it's like not after death. So that is something which is different from Viśiṣṭādvaita.
Well, you're indicating something, but not completely. Okay, why don't we do one thing? We'll take a break and go further. Okay, I'm not taking a break completely. Let me take this 15 minutes. Now it is 6:47. I want to spend about 10-15 minutes explaining to you what is Śaṅkarabhāṣya for this particular verse. Let's go understand this. Then it will become clearer for you what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? But Prashanti, you're sort of coming to the border of the information. You're not deeper. You're not getting deeper into the information. But let me explain to you, to all of you, what is Śaṅkarācārya's view of this shloka. Okay, we'll take the. I just gave you a translation here, right? But he gives some information. Let's go through the information. Okay, I'm just directly taking Hiranyana's explanation in English, and let's try to understand what he is saying. So he says, first of all, he says all of us have a big problem. That is, why, whether you are a devata, whether you are a human being, whether you are an animal or something, think about this world. We are going through birth, decay, death, disease, and all sorts of issues, which we are not able to stop because time goes further. And we are not able to stop the changes in our body. We have to go through old age. We have to go through different problems with the body, and finally death. And again, getting into some other body, again continue with the same problem. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. This is what Śaṅkarācārya says. So there is a problem. There is sorrows of life. It's this all a misery. It doesn't matter whether it is gods who are getting a new body, whether the human beings are getting a new body, beasts or animals getting a new body, or even the mains or the pishachis are like strange beings. It doesn't matter. It's all a misery. Iha chet. That means if one is qualified and one is capable of knowing that self, that is Ātman in this human life. Not knowing Ātman like an object, but indirectly, as a witness. Then there would be Atha Satyam Asti, means there would be permanence, utility, goodness, reality. So that is good. Nacha iha avedit, if one does not know, right here before the body goes away, that Brahman, Mahati Vinashtihi, it is a disaster. Because he uses the term here, metempsychosis. All it means is transmigration. Transmigration means one particular body a person has, and that body goes in at death, and some other kind of body can come in the next life. That is known as metempsychosis, which is a problem. That's what he's saying. So I'm not going to go through this particular thing here. We'll just skip. So there is an infinite, unbroken series of births, decay, death, and rebirth. Thus, the wise Brahmanas, Dhiraha, they can discriminate between good and bad in all beings, whether movable or immovable. Vichitya means discovering or realizing that one reality, that is the self. Dhiraha, people with brilliance. Pretya, turning back and ceasing to take part in this shadowy life. That means that this universal life is a mess. And identifying themselves with a non-dual, all-encompassing truth. He says that there's only one reality, that is Brahman, and rest is unreal. Amrita bhavanti, they become Brahman itself, as recorded in the text. Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of the Brahman becomes Brahman, as given in the Mundaka. Paramam Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva Bhavati. That is the verse. And I will read the exact verse a little bit later. I've, in another slide, I have listed that verse. So, this is the Sanskrit, which we explained this in English right now. This is what is explained in Sanskrit, original Śaṅkarabhāṣya here. Yeah, I'm not going to read it. Here, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Here he, Sayoha vai tat param Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. This is the verse in the Mundaka Upanishad. What it says is, Sayoha vai Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. One second, just a second, please. There was a chat and I didn't want to. There's nothing here. Okay, let me slideshow here from current slide. Sayohavai tat param Brahma Veda. The knower of that Brahma, Param Brahma, he becomes Brahma itself. That is, the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. That is the idea of Śaṅkarācārya. So let me get back here. Oh, that is the end of this section. Oh, I cut it off here, I think. Yeah. Okay, fine. What I'm trying to say here is, what happens to according to Śaṅkarācārya, according to say that if somebody does not know Brahman while alive, while having this life, then what happens? They have this big problem. What is the big problem? Ananta vinashtihi vinashanam janma jara maranadi prabandha avicheda lakshana samsaragatihi, unbroken, infinite cycle of births and deaths and rebirths. This is the problem if you don't know Brahman right here before death.
So the only way to know Brahman is knowing while living. Is that the crux of this
Yes,
sloka?
that is what is being indicated by Śaṅkarācārya, and I don't find any problem. I don't find any problem with the original Kena Upaniṣad verse. Ihajeda Vedit. The verse is clearly saying, if you don't know Brahman here, you get into trouble.
So this means, without a body, we cannot realize Brahman, because we have to have a body to know the Brahman.
Yes, that's what it says here.
Jivan Mukti.
Actually, you're actually twisting the meaning of this verse. Really speaking, what is it telling you? While living here, know Brahman. If you don't know Brahman before death, there is a problem. What is the problem?
Yeah.
A new body will come. The new body will again have to start from scratch. From A, B, C, going to school, going to kindergarten and learning, getting beaten by other boys or girls, whatever. You have to go through the entire life. But before that, one has to know Brahman. That is the idea. See, you are making a second corollary, saying that, oh, without the body, I will not be able to know Brahman. That is not indicated here. That is a secondary corollary, right? Only one aspect is indicated here.
Because there is no way that Jivitam comes, right? The Jivitam comes only with the body.
That's not the indication here.
He doesn't say it straight,
What he's saying is, before death, get this, know Brahman, then you have a chance to become Brahman and get out of this cycle of births and deaths. If you don't know Brahman while living itself, then certainly at death, another body will come. And you have to go through this cycle of infinite births and deaths. And next body is not guaranteed due to the Purva Karmas, the prior Karmas. The next body could be a body of anything, any animal or anything else. So one has to know Brahman while living. This is the idea of Śaṅkarabhāṣya here. And with this point,
So he's putting an urgency for us, like do it now.
He is not putting, the original Upanishad itself is like that, right?
Yeah. That's correct.
Śaṅkarācārya is not inventing.
He's not saying, the Upanishad says that,
the original Upanishad itself is scaring us that while living, you should know Brahman. So this is a serious issue.
No, but it also clearly means that according to Śaṅkara, unless or until there is Vyavaharika, then only there is self-knowledge. There is no knowledge of self in the Paramarthika, right? Because the Ātman does not know itself also. So what he has told is also true. You have to be in the Vyavaharika for self-knowledge.
Fine. Yes. Okay. Yeah. For the person who is in the absolute, doesn't need self-knowledge. He's already released. He's not bound.
The problem is he does not know that right at that state.
Doesn't matter whether he knows or not. He is full of consciousness, like a piece of salt. Is salt inside? It is salty inside. It is salty on the surface. Everything is salt. Like that. That Brahman is jnana, consciousness, inside and outside, on surface, everywhere. And that doesn't need any moksha or anything like that. It is itself made of consciousness. Doesn't need to know anything. That is the highest state according to Śaṅkarācārya.
This Jivan Mukti is...
Let me clarify this to other people here who are new. What are we trying to do here is clearly we are understanding Śaṅkarācārya's position. And obviously other acharyas may disagree. We will truly understand their point of view also. That is the purpose of our class, nothing more. I am not trying to make you into an Advaiti. I'm not trying to make you into a Viśiṣṭādvaita. I'm not trying to make you into a Dvaiti. This is information session, exchange of information, learning what exactly these acharyas talked about. That's all.
Krishna, excuse me.
Yeah.
To answer what I feel, will you please repeat the question of yours?
Okay, the question here is, this shloka is creating a problem to the Viśiṣṭādvaitis. Powerful problem it is giving. And a Viśiṣṭādvaiti needs to recognize what that problem is. And till now, I have not heard an exact explanation of this problem for the Viśiṣṭādvaitis.
Oh.
Nobody has given me yet. Why is this problem? Why is this verse of Kena Upaniṣad? Forget about Śaṅkarabhāṣya. Śaṅkarabhāṣya is very sincere here. Śaṅkarabhāṣya is not making any problem here. So whether you agree with Śaṅkarabhāṣya or not is also not the question here. But the original words of the Kena Upaniṣad itself is causing a big problem to the Viśiṣṭādvaita view. What is that problem is my question.
This Jivan Mukti may not be acceptable.
Hello.
What did you say? Yeah. One person at a time.
Jivan Mukti may not be acceptable to Viśiṣṭādvaitins.
That is a different issue. See, even Viśiṣṭādvaitis agree that there is a dasha called Jivan Mukti dasha. But that is not exactly the problem here. That's not the problem. Okay, Champaka Mami, what is this? What did you say?
So, first of all, I will understand this text. That is, when you sincerely have the problem, want to know, this is only the chance, because if you let it go, you will not get the chance. So future you cannot tell. So when you really want to know it here only, now only. Otherwise, there is a lot of problem.
See, what it says is, it doesn't say that you will never get a chance, but it will say that you will have to go back to the cycle of births and deaths, and you may get a chance in some other janma, maybe hundreds and 200.
It takes a long time. Yeah. The thirst for knowledge, thirst to know, when it happens, you should readily start knowing it. That means.
Yeah.
And
right.
The problem that is creating for Viśiṣṭādvaita, that I really don't understand, because they accept Jiva Nityatva. Is it not?
I also have the same.
Please don't interrupt.
Okay,
Let
tell
me
me,
complete.
Mami, you complete. Why don't you complete? Tell me.
That is, Śaṅkarācārya means there is only one Brahman, not you yourself are Brahman, that you will really know when you make an effort for that. But in Viśiṣṭādvaita, creating problem in the sense means they accept Jiva as eternal. Maybe in the thought, in the knowledge way process, they think Jivas are there eternally.
No. See, there, Mami, you are basically saying the belief of Viśiṣṭādvaita is different from Śaṅkarabhāṣya. That is not, of course, Ramanuja.org believes in multiple Jivatmas who are eternal and different from Ishvara, right? That is acceptable.
I know.
That is not
understanding is both same for. Understanding is same for both of them. I know.
The issue here is
explanation is not given.
No, there is something hidden in this verse which will really shake the belief system of Viśiṣṭādvaitis. Belief system. It will shake. And that most people have not understood. The funny thing is, I didn't even see that as being recognized by Ramanuja.org, who wrote a bhashya on this Upanishad. And when I looked at his bhashya or explanation of this particular verse, I did not find that problem. They didn't even recognize, or they didn't give value to such a powerful problem this shloka is posing. You know why I am telling you all this thing and I'm not giving you the answer? I want you to think for at least 1 week.
Oh, I understood. Nachet iha jivaschet. This is the problem that is creating for Viśiṣṭādvaita.
Nachediha. No. Jivan
Jiva
Chetata. That is Jivan. No, go back. This is
No, jivaschet adhikritaha.
No. This is different. This is only the bhashya. Don't worry about this bhashya. You should just go back to the verse. I'll show you the verse. This is the verse. Iha ched avedit atha satyamasti. Nached iha avedit mahati vinashtihi. Forget about the second shloka, second verse also. That is simple.
Only the first one is important.
That is a different question. Here, ihached avedit atha satyamasti. Nached avedit mahati vinashtihi. This is the only verse which is very powerful, and it is indicating, and there is a similar verse. I will give you a homework. There is a verse in Kena Upaniṣad.
That is the word nachediha mahati vinashti. This is the stressing point. That is the main point.
I will give you one more powerful hint. Does anybody remember a Kena Upaniṣad verse which I talked to you about earlier? Ihached avedit atha satyam masti. Nached avedit what do you call? Okay. Ihached avedit prak sharirasya visrasaha. Nached avedit tato swargaya lokaya sargaya lokaya is the verse. I think I mentioned this verse. Did anybody note that down? I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Prak sharirasya vishrasaha. Did I mention? Oh, I noted down. I forgot to list it. This is the Kena Upaniṣad verse, which is similar to this verse. This is the Kena Upaniṣad verse we are talking about, right? There is a Kena Upaniṣad verse exactly similar to this. Only it says that prak sharirasya visrasaha, before the body breaks. That means before death. If you don't know, you will come back to the cycle of births and deaths. That is exactly, it's almost a repetition of this.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. The Sargaya Lokaya. That means to come back in the loka of creation. So you'll be created.
Start again from the beginning.
So from somewhere, Purvajanma Phala is there. So, but somewhere you start. So there are two shlokas very similar to each other. In both shlokas, I tried to look at the Viśiṣṭādvaita bhashyas. They don't even recognize the problem. But the problem is very clear. And don't tell me or don't think that I am the big Einstein who found this problem.
No.
This was found by earlier people. I am just reminding you, I didn't find the problem. I was surprised when I looked at it, and I asked this question to Swami KSV Swami once. KSV Swami smiled and said, yes, this is a very powerful problem. He explained to me that, yes, there is a very big problem here. But, you know,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to take a go. For me,
No,
this.
wait a minute. No, wait a minute, please. Let that lady talk, because she has never asked a question. I would like to hear.
Okay, so I'm analyzing hence seeking reality in all beings. Okay, so the reality in all beings. Okay, so that would mean there is a evident non-dualistic thought, right? School of thought. So
Yeah.
the problem would be in the Viśiṣṭādvaita. I don't know that much about Viśiṣṭādvaita. I studied a very little. So there is the distinction between the Brahman and the Jiva, right? So we are the spark of the divine, from my understanding, correct?
Yeah, we are different from the divine. We are
We're-
always different from the divine. Yes.
So if we are seeking reality in all beings, we are denying the we are denying Bhagavan, in the Saguna Brahman, because here is saying that it's a reality in all beings. I don't know, maybe it's implied that the Brahman is without form,
No. See, the
no.
thing is, for Śaṅkarācārya, Brahman is without form, nirguna, nirakara. That is fine. Okay.
Okay.
That is not indicated here. Not in
Okay.
this sloka. So that is not even a controversy here. Because the shloka itself or the verse itself does not talk about nirguna, saguna, or nirakara, sakara. It is not talking about it here, right? It is not even opening that issue. Here, just reality means that doesn't mean whether it is saguna, sakara, it has attributes or no attributes, it has form or no form. Nothing is being mentioned here. So we cannot assume it.
Then it gives you a feeling it's more an atheistic view. Some similarity between an atheist. I mean, I
would have to agree. I would have to agree. It does have
This
a
is
very
not atheistic. How can
atheistic
you say
connotation.
it is atheistic? It is not
Yes.
atheistic.
it's not, but
Śaṅkarācārya is not an atheist.
It confuses us. It gives you a feeling, makes your thought go that way. I know it's not.
No.
It is giving that vibe of that just this nirguna vibe, that
Nirguna is
it
not
doesn't.
atheism. Nirguna is not atheism. He believes in Brahman, right? Brahman is one, and he is only making the many and the interactions with many and the matter as less value. Relatively, they're all true. They're only in the lesser level reality. That's all. He's not denying anything. He's not. So let me clarify this to you. In the last recording, you will find one more thing. When you say to Śaṅkarācārya, do you believe in multiple jivatmas? He will say yes. Do you believe in transmigration of multiple jivatmas? He will say yes. Do you believe that jivatmas are different from Ishvara? He will say yes. Why? Because in the transactional world or the vyavaharika satya, he agrees with everything. He agrees exactly like Ramanuja.org or Madhvacharya. He agrees with multiple jivatmas, matter being different from jivatmas, and Brahman or Ishvara being different from jivatmas. He accepts all these. In the transactional world or the vyavaharika satya, only in the ultimate reality, he denies everything and says there is only one Nirguna Brahman. That's all. So you cannot push Śaṅkarācārya into the category of atheism at all.
Swami, can I add something
go ahead.
to the discussion?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think the Satyam Asti, the reality is that's being sought here. It indicates, when we say that, it indicates that what we currently experience in this life of a body or a human is not the highest reality. So, but in Viśiṣṭādvaita, we don't necessarily agree two different sets of reality, right? Not explicitly.
True. You're right. But the thing is here, the seeking is for the permanent reality. Both of us, whether you are a Viśiṣṭādvaiti or Advaiti, you are seeking for the highest reality. The highest reality is Ishvara, Brahman, according to Viśiṣṭādvaita also, not self or not Jivatma, right?
Yeah, but to be agree on a highest reality separately, of course, other than the Nirupadika Satta?
Okay, you opened up another can of worms, and let me tell you something about the can of worms. Okay, let us get this very clear. Does Ramanuja.org or Viśiṣṭādvaitins agree with two levels of reality? At least two levels of reality. Yes or no? Do we agree
Yes.
with two levels of reality? That is the Viśiṣṭādvaitis or the Ramanuja system of thought?
No,
No, there is no tiers of reality like Advaita.
See, it may not be similar to Advaita, but let me put it clearly. Today we see ugly things in our world, right? Garbage
Yes.
can, stinking stuff. In India, you can see it often when you go to small cities or villages. Lot of open drains, stinking stuff. Everything is there. If that becomes absolutely real, even if you go to Vaikuntha, you still have to smell it, right? Stink will continue in Vaikuntha because you cannot run away from the absolute truth. Absolute truth is eternal, right? So if the stink, garbage, dirt, impurities, hatred, jealousy, all this stuff, if they're all real forever, that means even if you go to Vaikuntha, you will not be able to escape it. That will become absolute reality. Hence, even in Ramanuja's system of thought, he cannot completely give the same level of reality to all these problems we are going through and a permanent reality called Vaikuntha or something like that, right? Even Ramanujacharya has to give some difference in level of reality. Level of reality cannot be same even for Ramanujacharya. Even he mentions it in a simple sentence in the Jignāsadhikarana. That Jiva and Jada are not at the same level of reality as Paramatma. Paramatma is the only one reality which is unconditional. Jiva and Jada are conditional. So even Ramanujacharya has to agree with difference in the levels of realities. He may not agree with just two levels of realities. He may agree with that there are multiple levels of reality. But he cannot make the garbage can, stinking garbage can, as eternally real as Paramatma or Jivatma. If you make that eternal, constant, undeniable truth, then you will never be able to escape the stink. Even if you run to Goloka, Vaikuntha, Kailasa, go wherever you want, you will not escape that stink. And that is a problem.
So I have a question. So if one goes to Vaikuntha, would they be aware of, would they be able to experience what's going on, like, on earth,
See, the thing is, right now we experience pleasure and pain because of our past karmas and things like that, right? Because in the Viśiṣṭādvaita, once if they go to Vaikuntha, there is no past karmas. The karmas are all burnt. The bondage is burnt. So even if you have knowledge of the entire universe, that will not have any pain or sorrow or anything bad with it, because it's pure knowledge. It is right now we have problem. See, for example, let me give you another example to explain to you. My great teacher, SM Srinivasachari, known as SMS Chari, explained to me once. See, if I or you see a tiger rushing at us, what will we do? What do we do? If
we'll
a tiger
run.
comes rushing at us,
We'll run.
We'll run because we are afraid of our lives, right? But what will the tiger's cub do when mommy tiger is rushing at the cub? The tiger's cub will go and embrace the mommy, right? Agreed or not?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Because we have a different body, which will become the food of the tigers, but the body of a cub becomes an enjoyable play thing for the mommy tiger. So our karmas are different from the karmas of the tiger cub, right? So because of our karma, we are experiencing pleasure, pain, mostly pain here. But once you go to Vaikuntha, those karmas are gone. Because the karmas are gone, even if you have the knowledge of the universe, you will not have any pain or you will only see it as a divinity, as the glory of the Lord, as the kingdom of God. You see greatness in everything. You see the glory of Paramatma in everything, because Paramatma does reside everywhere. It is his glory.
So that is the transformation we need to go through, right?
Yes.
That transformation is what all along they are talking about.
Yes, that is the transformation we have to go through. Anyway, this is taking 7:20. I need to rush. I have a lot of work to do. We are 20 minutes past, but I want all of you to think about the problems of Viśiṣṭādvaita view here in regarding this verse. And if one thing I can tell you, this is a very serious problem. So I will not try to shake anybody's belief here. So I will not even answer this question, even if you think about it. Personally, you can talk to me, but I will not address this question again in my next class or any future classes. This particular thing is a little bit hard, and some people who may be shaken up, and I don't want to shake their faith at all. So we'll talk about this later, personally, maybe here and there. That's all. Okay. With this, I will stop here. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanam Astu.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.